Hello friends. Some of the material from this video was supposed to be published yesterday, but my internet went down, and I couldn't do it. The Russians continue to advance near the borders of the Dnipropetrovsk region, deep state reports. In particular, over the past 2 days, the enemy has advanced near Gorokhovy, Voskresenka, Oleksandrograd, and captured Grushevsky. Fighter Muchnoy reports that the enemy has tried several times in small groups to enter the outskirts of Dachny, in the Dnipropetrovsk region. According to him, one group was spotted within the village. Our fighters quickly dealt with it and partially destroyed the enemy. Some of the Russians were captured. The assault failed. We currently control most of the village. The enemy is actively pressing on the approaches, and they have no positions in the village itself. The settlement of Yevhenii High is actually under enemy control, but they have not yet fully consolidated their position and are continuing stabilization measures. The Voskresenka area is currently very hot. There are fierce battles for control of the village. The enemy is trying to capture this strategic location, while we are holding the positions under control, but the situation is constantly changing. Both sides are advancing and defending, so the front there is very tense and unpredictable. As of now, the enemy has begun to press in the direction of Oleksandrograd. Battles are taking place on the approaches. The situation is getting tense every time. The Russians are constantly trying to break through the defense in order to go deeper and reach the border with the Dnipropetrovsk region. The battles are very difficult. The situation is constantly changing. We are doing everything possible to stop them, writes Fighter Muchnoy. The Russian army is advancing in the Pokrovsk and Mirnorod directions, trying to deepen its offensive in the west of the Donetsk region. According to the deep state map, north of Mirnorod, the enemy has gone in a new direction north through Mayak. According to our military, Russian forces have occupied the southern part of Novo-Ekonomichny and are making efforts to consolidate in the center and north. There are battles for individual streets, attacks on the roads to Mirnorod, and the industrial zone of the mines. The goal is to create a corridor towards Mirnorod and block the highway to Pokrovsk. In the Rodinsky-Krasny Liman area north of Pokrovsk and Mirnorod, the offensive is carried out in small groups through fields and forest belts. The main clashes are taking place on the eastern approaches to the Rodinsky industrial zone. There is also an advance from the northeast towards the rear positions. Near Pokrovsk, in the area of Udachny, active offensive actions by the enemy continue. The western approaches to the settlement are under fire control of the Russians. Through Kotliny, the Russian army is attempting to reach the Pavlograd-Pokrovsk highway and advance towards Grishny. The fighting here is intense. Fighter Muchnoy does not rule out a tactical withdrawal of the Ukrainian armed forces for regrouping. In the Zverovy area, pressure is being exerted on the front line. Artillery and FPV drones are being used. Pershi Travnia remains under the control of Ukrainian forces, but the adjacent territory is under fire from the Russians. Attempts to penetrate Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups have been recorded from the southern direction. Meanwhile, Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups are already entering Pokrovsk, reported a Ukrainian military man with the call sign Alex. According to him, in recent days, high activity of Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups has been observed in the south of Pokrovsk. Several vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces units have already been fired upon. The activation of such groups is quite an alarming call and may indicate a new attempt by the enemy to capture Pokrovsk, Alex believes. Telegram channels also showed a video of a Russian sabotage group attacking a vehicle of the Ukrainian armed forces in Pokrovsk. The military Telegram channel Deep State confirms that sabotage groups of the Russian army are already operating in Pokrovsk. According to him, this is due to a shortage of troops in the Ukrainian armed forces. A few days ago, the enemy, taking advantage of the fact that one of the brigades simply ran out of infantry, as well as an inaccurate representation of the situation on the ground, penetrated the city itself through Zverovy, the Telegram channel reports. According to Deep State, Units of the Ukrainian armed forces are currently working to destroy these enemy groups. Unfortunately, there are losses on our side as well. In addition, the number of cases of friendly fire has increased because everyone knew about these groups almost immediately, but most had no understanding of either the routes or how and where they were located, the Deep State publication says. By the way, in the evening, fighter Yevhenii published a rather strange message with information about Pokrovsk. He writes that if you suddenly see a video that the Russians now have, where they talk about the Sabotage micro-district, like they are conducting a cleanup there, then I immediately say yes, this often happens. I will add that I have not seen this video yet. According to Yevhenii, the enemy from time to time tries to infiltrate the Sabotage micro-district with small sabotage groups to conduct reconnaissance or create chaos. Our fighters record this and repel such attempts. Sometimes short-term skirmishes occur in the district itself. This does not mean that the enemy completely controls this micro-district, our fighter writes. Such raids are more pinpoint sorties and not a mass capture. They crawled in the western part too, where they were not. Of course, they test the stability of the city's defense, plus the local population helps them. The Russians bring them water in exchange for useful information, writes Yevhenii. Now the enemy will try to break through to the Dacha area and move towards Yevhenii Park, plus infiltrate through the southwest into the city and engage in battles, cutting off logistics at the same time. This is the situation here, and it is unclear how many of these cockroaches are still crawling around here, but I think we will find out soon, wrote fighter Yevhenii in the evening.
Friends, I want to develop and strive for higher quality content, but my 2009 computer does not allow me to do this. If you have the opportunity to help me buy a new computer and make my dream come true, I will be very grateful to you. You will find the link in the description under the video and in the pinned comment. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.